mechanic here again. Today I want to talk to you about refurbishing mowers. Now, what it consists of. Refurbishing is just basically tidying an engine up, making sure it starts every time, be reliable, and that's virtually what it is, refurbishing. Now, I get people come along and say, oh, it's been refurbished, so you've rebuilt the engine. No, I haven't rebuilt the engine. To do a rebuild, it's internally. So that's your crank bearings, your piston, your rings, all that sort of stuff. It's inside the engine. You're not touching none of that on a refurbishing. You're just doing a clean up and a tidy up on the mower, on the engine, and the mower base. Now, I'm going to go through this one here. I've got sitting here as a little Briggs motor, 375 Sprint. Just going to go through a few things, show you what I do to refurbish them. So first we're going to take the top off here. Take your recoil starter off. Okay. Now I've noticed this one here's got a dodgy bolt in this, so I just put it in and it's broke it off. So now we've got the top off. Just check your recoil rope, make sure it's not frayed or anything like that. That's all working good. Always like to put a bit of lube, spray, WD-40 or something in around the spring, which is in here, in the back here. A little bit in around the pores on your starter there, where they come out. Just to make sure that's all going to work and operate properly. Okay, so now, this is the pit you look at and you see what is it any damages or anything like that. And yes, we have. This one here, that's where the cover, there's the piece on here. There's our piece there, it's broken out. People go jamming bolts in that don't fit, and that's what does that. So, possibly going to have to change the head now on this one, which is not a big job. What I like to do is remove the coil, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so we'll take our coil off. Just like so. Two reasons why I do this. One, to clean it all up. These tabs here run past the flywheel magnets. Now, some guys say, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Now, with most of the stuff that I do, they start first time about 98% of the time. So, it has, cleaning these does help. Second thing we want to check is this one here. That's your manifold, intake manifold there, plastic. Sometimes they'll break off in here or down here, and check those bolts, make sure they're not loose, because they do come loose. So we're just going to take the coil now. We'll take our coil and we'll give that a clean up. Let's do this. I'll just put a wire wheel on the drill. just blow it off some air, but I clean these side here, you might not have noticed. I'll just clean these up. That's where you're earthing out. You're earthing out on these poles here. So I'll just give them a bit of clean up onto there. So we can hit that with a bit of air, bit of all in here. Just make sure it's not broken or melted out in around there. That one looks pretty good. So I'm just going to take a bit of brake cleaner here, just give it a bit of a spray. And we'll blow that down some air. There we go, air hose here. So they're pretty clean there now, which is good. Just give me a bit of a touch up. So now when this makes contact with the magnet on your flywheel, the current is going to be picked up pretty quick and give you a good spark. So now what we do is we take our flywheel, and I just like to see which side's which, see how strong the magnets are. Magnets are good. So I just take the drill once again. Okay, so that's all good, the magnet side of things. You can knock a bit off there if you want it. That's just the negative side. Just cleaning rust off it, that's what it's doing. Okay, so now we're just going to take our 1/4 inch and we'll check these couple screws in here. Just here it holds the intake manifold on. Yeah, they're always a little bit loose, but do not over tighten, you will crack it or strip the thread. Just make sure that it's not cracked or anything around there. Okay, so now we've done that, we'll just take some cleaner here, we'll spray that in around here everywhere. The tank we're going to take off, and we'll probably have to take this head off now to see what's going on in there. So we'll just clean that all off now. Just want to remove a fair bit of any dirt and grease and stuff. Use brake clean or the grease, what you like, just to clean that off. Okay, so now we're going to remove the tank. So we've got a 10mm there and a 13 in there. coming out. Now, got stuff all tangled up here. There we go. Set that aside. Now the next thing you want to do is make sure you've got both springs and they're in good condition here. And you give that a bit of spray, but we're going to take that off on this one, so it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so we're going to take the spark plug out. And that's got a big one in it. Now, the spark plug will tell us a lot what this engine's like. Okay, so the plug's pretty fouled up. So we'll see what like inside the cylinder. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do what we're going to do in a minute and take the head off. Or if you've got a inspection camera, you can put that in there and have a look and see what's going on. So we can put that in there and we can see the end of the cylinder and the piston. Gives you a bit of an idea what's going on in there, whether it's all coked up or not. As soon as we're going to be taking that off now because it's broken. So now we're just going to undo these bolts and take this head off. In there. Take all the bolts out. Okay. Now what you need to do is very, very gentle removing this, so that you don't disturb your head gasket too much, so you can reuse it. Okay, there we go, look at that. It's full of oil. But that's probably because it's been tipped over. It's been tipped over on the side on that. So we get to see the inner workings here. So we'll just wipe this all out. There's our piston and the valves. Not too bad really. Try and get a shot of that in there for you. There we go. There's our cylinder. Cylinder's pretty good. No scoring or anything in there. We don't want to see any of that. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to discard this head. Got another one here somewhere. Now, this head gasket is on here. When I go to replace this, I'll very carefully lift that off. I think that's just happened there now. But anyway, take that off. I do have other head gaskets, so I may have put another one on that one. But yeah, wrong size bolts destroys them. Okay, we'll just move on from here now. The valves are all pretty good. It's only a small lawnmower, so it's not going into space or anything like that. Just check your pipe here. Make sure that your manifold's got no splits or anything like that. Sometimes they're in around here where they sit on the carburetor. They'll get a little hole in them, but you can generally feel that by putting your finger in through there and anything like that. Just make sure that's all in good condition. Okay, so then it's time to clean all this. Clean all the body up. Yeah, take your spray, and you can put something over that, just stop any of it going in there if you want. Just like that. Just take the can and give it a good spray down. Clean any crap off it. Just like so. Just make sure you get it all nice and clean. Get all that oil and stuff all off it. Like so, do your whole motor block. Once you're satisfied it's all clean and no oil residue or anything left there, you spray it with an undercoat primer. Give it a couple of coats of that. Put one coat of black over it. It's like a new engine. Okay, so now we've done our coil. We've got to get the coil back on. So we'll go ahead and we'll put all. We can't do that. We can put the coil back on, I guess, because we can put this back on later. So now, if you take the coil off or you've got one, replacing coils or anything like that, you've got to have an air gap between your flywheel and your coil. And the best way of doing that is take your business card and put that in there. Now I'll just screw in the bolts here. Okay, so now we put our coil back onto there like that. Okay, I can't cheat with this. I don't like. Just be very careful if you use an impact wrench on this, that you don't over tighten it. Just so they're nice and snug. Okay, take your card out, and there's your air gap. Now that is set at the correct gap there, 10,000 an inch. They've got to be. So that will give us a good current through to the spark plug. Okay, so now you've done all that bit. The next thing is the carburetor. Pretty grubby, this one. And your tank. What I generally do also, well, mine, I'll Once they're all cleaned up, I'll do the black first and then put my cardboard in behind and do the exhaust, the silver. Or generally do it like that. That way you're not getting it all over everything else, trying to do this or doing this and getting it all over that. So that's usually the better way to do it. Just do one piece at a time on those. So now we've done all that. That's basically about as far as you need to go with these sort of things. But they are pretty critical to check. Make sure they're all nice and clean. Clean your flywheel up. That's going to give you a good starting. Especially you checking this one. Now, if you come across one of these that is broken or being very, very loose, I like to put some as I say, if they're very, very loose or you've come across broken and you've already changed it out, I always like to put a bit of Permatex dressing on it. This one's a fuel resistant. And all that is, because you don't want it sucking air. You do not want that sucking air down there because it's going to give you all kinds of grief. You're going to have it over revving, you're going to have it hard starting. It won't start when it's hot. All that sort of thing is going to be due to this. So I always use this, make sure it seals up pretty well. I even use it sometimes on the carburetor bowls, just to ensure they don't leak. Okay, so now the carburetor side of things. I'll just move this out of the road. Now, it can't be up here, so we insert. Okay, so very dirty and grubby this one. So we're just going to clean it all off first. Just get rid of some of the crap off it. Always make sure you clean them down before you take them off, because you don't want that crap going on the inside. Okay, so now we've got that rough fairly clean there. The other thing is, always check the inside of the tank, especially if you picked the mower up from somewhere and it's not yours. Check inside the tank to see how much rust or anything is in there. That one's got a little bit, it's not too bad, it's fairly clean actually. So now we've got 5 screws that hold this carburetor on, just around the outside. But look, said screwdriver is what we need for that, not a flathead. Okay, so we'll take these 5 screws out. Okay, now I've got other videos on doing these. I just wanted to show you the basics on it. Always make sure that your primer's working. That one seems to be working okay. In here is your main jet. So you need to pop that out. Make sure that's all clean. Get the carb oil a really good clean out on these ones. Down there everywhere. You've got an O-ring in here. Make sure that's in good condition, because that slides back onto your manifold on these. Now, these have a diaphragm in here, which is all explained in the other video, what it does, how it works. Like you get a big bulb and they stretch like that, that's no good, that. Throw that away. Start again. Okay, now we've got all that done. Make sure you clean out down inside the tank here. Give the tank a really good clean up. Then what I like to do is get it really clean, no oil residue or anything like that. And I tape these up, because here's all the information. This tells you all about the engine here. So we know it's a 2700 series engine there. It just tells us a bit about it here. So it's important to sort of keep some of that there. So generally I like to tape that up. For some of the not the well educated people out there, always leave this here. Cover that over. And sometimes I'll have another sticker on the end, but that's not really too concerned. Give it a couple coats of primer, probably a couple coats of black on this one, and you're good to go there. That's all done. Get your carburetor, put it all back together on here, and then you can clean it up. You can clean all that up and even spray that if you want, or sometimes what I'll do, I'll put it all back together like so, and then just paint the whole thing, and do it that way. So that's the fuel side of things. They're nearly all much the same, whether it's one of these carburetors or if it's a Honda, it's a different series. But the carburetors, you've got to go through the carbies, make sure they're all clean. And then you're guaranteed by doing the coils, checking the manifolds, and cleaning your carburetors out properly, you're guaranteed to have good starting and all that. So you're not going to have any dramas there as far as that goes. On that. Then what you would generally do is reassemble it all, put it all back together. Got your top here, same thing with your top. Mask off all your logos, these ones here. You can give that a bit of clean up if you want, knock that rust all off it. Hit it with some primer, some black paint, put it back on top. And this one here is your governor control. Just make sure that's all nice and clean, it's free moving. Just like so. So that'll be cleaned up when we put the other head back on it. So that's basically about the engine then, guys. Make sure you put good new fresh oil in it. And the other thing is, what I always like to do is if I'm selling the mowers, always give them a full tank of fuel. Nothing worse than a person getting a quarter of a tank or something like that. They'll bring it back and I'll say, oh, don't go. They'll be saying your mower won't run. Well, it won't go if you haven't got enough fuel in it. And the other thing is, you don't know what sort of fuel they've got at home. So if you give them a full tank, they use that full tank, then have an issue, well, this doesn't come back onto you then. So guys, that's basically it with the engine side of doing them. Once you've got the engine off the base, you can go ahead and clean all that up. Fix anything that needs fixing on that, such as your handles and all that sort of stuff. You've seen that on our other videos. So now, paint your base up and everything, put your nice clean motor on there, hook your throttle cable on it and so forth up. Make sure that throttle cable's been lubed so it flows nice and easy. Once you've done all that and you put it all back together, good sharp blades or new blades on it, you can make a few dollars for yourself. Okay guys, thank you.